Have I been muted this whole time? I have, haven't I? It starts at 9 o'clock, and that's why I was hoping he'd already be live. I'm waiting on Fuck DSS to go live. We were gonna get footage from him because I didn't get to go because my ride fell through, and then I tried to do a fundraiser, but it was so late at night to get me an Uber, and it just didn't work out that way. But I'm just waiting on Fuck DSS to go live, and once he does, then I was gonna go live on here. But I know court is supposed to start at 9 o'clock, so it might be afterwards. I'm gonna try to get a hold of his mommy and Minnie real quick and see if she thinks he's gonna hit live first. I mean, I just talked to her. Let me try to call her real quick. I'm gonna put her on speaker, but I'll tell her first. Hold on, guys. Okay. Hey, we've got Mommy and Minnie on the line with us. Hey, we were looking, I went ahead and went live. I was assuming he was going to go live. And don't court start at 9? Or you think he's going to wait till after?
I'm not 100% sure. I do know that I think he's trying to get into the courtroom.
Okay, right. So if he can get...
I won't know until
okay.
he actually, goes live, whether he's even remotely got to go into the courtroom or anything else.
I would prefer him to go into the courtroom than I would him getting footage.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think he's trying to go into the courtroom to actually be there in support of Megan. And with it being so close to time, I don't want to call and ask him. So I'm waiting to see myself, but we will know in just a few minutes, y'all. So just bear with us.
Okay, and so if he doesn't go live, then I'm thinking that he will go live afterwards to update us all.
Yes, I know he definitely will. I do know that he brought his press credentials, so maybe they'll allow him in with his press credentials, but I'm not 100% sure. But he is definitely trying to go in there. And like I said, we know how they did last time. They may not allow him in there. Sometimes, like in our courthouse, people would come in and then they'd walk around and be like, do you live in the home, blah, 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 or whatever, are you involved in this case in any way? And then if not, then they'd make them leave out as well. So.
Right. And that's what's most important now, because I've been down there and with other supporters, and they wouldn't let us in even without the camera. Now we're hoping he can get in there. So if that means they'll let you in the courthouse all day long, but not in the courtroom. And I'd much rather him get in the courtroom so he could tell us what he heard and seen in there, and then afterwards, I know that I'm pretty much sure him and Megan will go live and will update us on what happened. But we're gonna hang in there for a little bit, and if he don't go live right now, I'll probably just end this and then just come back when he does go live. And Mommy and Minnie, if you see him go live, or I see him go live first, let's let the other one know.
Okay, I will most definitely do that. It might be you first. I'm not gonna lie, because I was getting ready to order breakfast for everyone. So,
sounds nice.
Yeah, well, so I'm gonna order some breakfast.
Okay.
And get everything situated. And if he goes live before,
then I'll let you know, and I tell you what, I'll send you a link when I go live. If I end this one, I'll send you a link when I go live again. That way, if you can't broadcast and you want to just come over to my side, you can. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right, girl. Enjoy your breakfast. Bye bye.
All right,
bye. Okay, guys. So what I'm thinking is, because we're gonna check his one more time. he's probably going to go inside the courtroom and then go live. And I would, we have went live outside the courtroom before when I went to court with Megan, and and we've and I know they got there in time, a little early to go, but that also brings attention, right? So maybe they're trying to play it smart and leave the cameras put up until after she gets to go supporters in the courtroom. Because last time they wouldn't every time, I think I've been to court with her 3 times, they never let us in. Yes, thank you. That's one of our my supporters saying they're playing close attention. Yes, and the person that just messaged me, if you see Fuck DSS go live, because I'm probably going to end this and then bring you guys back when he goes live after I talk to y'all for just a few minutes. So those of you that are in here to see the live footage, I don't think I'm going to have that for you right now, because I know court starts at 9, and I know court does rarely start on time. I think that was Shirley that said that. So I'm going to talk to you guys for a few minutes, but I don't think we're going to have, I just want to be transparent with you guys. I don't think we're going to have the live footage right now from the courthouse. But as soon as it does come live, we will come back live. But until then, I'm going to talk to y'all for a few minutes, and then I'm probably going to end this stream. And like I said, when he goes live, we'll restart it. Now, you said court don't usually start on time. But let's see, with Megan's case, it seems to be different than most people. She started, hey, Snapface, she started out on Zoom, and then all of a sudden they started making her show up in person instead of on Zoom. So when we go down there, it's generally the only person's case that's being heard in person, generally, as far as I've seen, is Megan's. So every time I ever went there, it wasn't too long before they pulled her right in, because except for the day they had us locked out, when they had her lawyer up there standing in front of the judge trying to get herself recused and wouldn't let Megan in there. I don't think that's legal. I don't know, though. And then they finally let her in, but they wouldn't let the rest of us in there. And every time I've been there, they wouldn't let us in there. And we were not trying to bring cameras in, not into the courtroom. We just wanted to go in there and show our moral support. And we wanted to hear, because even if we couldn't record, we wanted to hear what they were saying. And I definitely wanted to hear, knowing a little bit about legal stuff that I do know, and that's what Fuck DSS is going to do today, because him and his family have already been through a situation where CPS did take their children, and they did, praise the good Lord, they did get their children back, and they are with Megan today. And I couldn't be there, but I sent some. Well, I didn't send them. The good Lord sent them. They sent themselves there. They chose to go there today, away from, North Carolina, I think it is. It's all part of realizing that, I'm not always going to be able to do everything. And that's something I have to accept, So I felt like if it was meant to be that I be there, that I would get a ride, I didn't. But if she still has to go tomorrow, I do have a ride tomorrow. I have my own car tomorrow, so I will go tomorrow. Now, I'm going to put an invitation link and see if anybody wants to come here and talk real quick. Like I said, I'm going to check one more time. Hold on, to see if they're going to be live at the courthouse. If not, we're going to probably just see that after court. And like I said, every time I've only been up there, it's only been like an hour. But we're not going to stay live that long. But we will, and not unless, we get to talking and stuff. But I'm not going to sit here and talk by myself. But I will invite, and if one of you guys want to come here and join me, or if Lady Justice, I hadn't sent her the link yet, but I think she's asleep anyway. I talked to her and told her I was going to do this. There's the link. Let me also copy it and send it to her email. And then we'll talk for a few minutes. And those of you that can stay and just want to hear it talk, that's fine. If you have something else to do, you can leave, and the next time I go live, I will make sure that he's live before I go live on the situation, okay? But in the meantime, like I said, I'm going to stay up here for a few minutes and see if anybody wants to join me and just have some general discussion. I don't know if any of you guys had time. I replayed a lot of the videos yesterday. I know, I don't usually run unmanned. I wind up manning the stream most of the time anyway. Shit, I'm trying to find my email. You know what? I think she's asleep anyway. If she's not, she'll come and ask me for it. If she wants to come on, she'll say, "Hey, there's Mommy and Minnie. Do you want the link or no?" Okay, well, you're doing breakfast right now anyway. If you want to come up here and talk, Mommy and Minnie, the link's there. And but I'm only going to talk for a little bit, and then I'm going to wait till after he goes live, and then I'm going to restart it. But right now, I am open to having conversation with you or anybody else that I know. Hey, Johns. Okay, here we go. We got Mommy and Minnie. She's going to talk with us, and she's going to update us some on what she can. One thing we got to say is, we're not going to tell everything, all of this lady's business. Some things especially when you're dealing with legal matters, you cannot put everything out there. So Mommy and Minnie is going to join us, and she's going to tell us what she knows so far. Right now, what we think is they're just going to be inside the court. After court, I think he'll go live. It's important that he gets to go in there and show moral support if they'll let him in there.
Okay, so I'm okay. Now I see myself up
You're
here.
on, baby.
So
Hey.
what I was gonna say is, as you said, that was one thing that me and Hunter did wrong whenever we first came into the community, is we laid it every single thing out there, and that put us in a little bit of jeopardy when it comes to our children. So Megan is doing the very smart and the very right thing by not speaking about 100% everything that's going on pertaining to this case. But I will honestly say that, from what I have already just gathered from Megan, Megan is a wonderful mother. She is very loving of her children, and it's kind of ridiculous how she's been done in this whole case, but we have faith in the good Lord that everything's going to work out just like it did with our case. It worked out. We kept praying, and our prayers were finally heard, and we were blessed to be able to have our children back home. And the same thing's going to happen for Megan. So I've looked, and I see this is a woman who is trying her best in a bad situation, and she is actually coming out pretty good for this bad situation that has happened. You
She's
know,
strong too,
um,
isn't she? She's very
she
strong.
is very strong. Just like with baby Esther and what happened when they took baby Esther from her, and then what the information I found out last night. It's like, holy crap, Batman! You went to you did this amount and so quick, like. I mean, that right there shows me this is a mother that is trying. So, when you got these people out here asking, what does she do? What's she doing? Blah, 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 and everything else and stuff. Um, I'm gonna say this, what she's doing is amazing. I mean, it's not easy as a parent when you're fighting CPS at all. I will tell you that much. As a parent myself, who used to fight CPS, when they come out and they want to do, drug tests at any given time, and you have to call out of work and be like, hey, I can come because I've got to go do this drug test or whatever, or if they show up to your job and then you have to leave from your job to go do the drug test, because if not, then you're not cooperating. um, when you're one of those people who have to go do classes or whatever so many days per week, and then you have to be there at a certain time, and it has to be so long, and I mean, it it really adds up to a person, especially when, you know, they want you to maintain a job so you can pay child support for your children, plus make sure your bills are paid, and you know you still have to do all these classes, because if not, then you're not cooperating. And you know, a lot of people don't realize that the typical average time for a court case, when it comes to whether they decide to keep it reunification or TPR, is 1 year. They
One
give you
year.
one
And
year to do everything. And you start out and you're trying to get it all done and stuff, you know, and then they hold it against you if you don't use, or if you don't, you know, do what they want you to do. But then if you don't have a job, you know, you're not able to support your children financially, and this and that and the fifth, the third. If you don't pay your child support, you're frowned upon. But you're this parent who's jumping through all these hoops to try to make miracles happen, you know, to try to be there to do what you need to do for your children and make sure that everything's okay, and you know, show that you love your children, that you are trying to do what's best for your children. You're trying to get them home. And then after that 1 year mark, they do, you know, whether they decide if they're going to keep reunification or TPR, and it can change the TPR like ours did. But
it's hard to
um,
come back from that, though, but just
it, it, it
possible.
is it is very hard to come back from that. Which
But it's
you
possible.
know, when ours was changed to TPR, but the funny part of it is that they wanted to keep ours. The CPS wanted to keep it a reunification, but our guardian ad litem at the time wanted to change it to a TPR, so they did. But luckily, you know, I'm standing here, God as my witness today. You know, I mean, we done so much hard work. We put out a lot of effort and blood, sweat, and tears. You know, our hearts, our tears, mainly our tears, because we were trying. And a
I
lot of
have a
people, you
question for you, real quick. Um,
know,
do her children have a guardian ad litem? Even though usually they work for the state anyway, but did they order one for her kids?
that's one thing I'm not
We
100%
need to know,
sure
because
on.
I don't know of any case that doesn't not have one, and her children should have one. It's supposed to be a neutral party that's just for the kids. Didn't your kids have one?
Um, okay, so here's the funny thing about that. Remember, I said our guardian ad litem wanted the termination of parental rights.
Yes, you did just say
CPS
that.
wanted
I'm
to keep
sorry.
CPS wanted
Shit, we lost her. She did just say that. She'll come back, guys. Here she is. I'm
children and
sorry.
they
You had just it dropped you for a minute. You had just told me the guardian ad litem. That's what made me think of it. So I'm sorry about that. You had just answered that question for me. But go ahead.
no, I was going to say, you know, our guardian ad litem was corrupt. The person who had our children at the time, he was actually, and I can speak about this now because one, my case is closed, and for two, the man ended up passing away from a heart attack. So that's how our case turned around, and we were given a new guardian ad litem, and the new guardian ad litem who had gotten our case said our kids should have already been returned home to us because we had done everything we needed to do. We had completed all the steps and all the processes, you know, all the home studies, the whole 9 yards, and so that's what turned our case around. As the first guardian ad litem had passed away from a heart attack. But we had spoke out about the guardian ad litem because the person who had our children at the time was actually secretly seeing the guardian ad litem. The guardian ad litem in our case denied it because he's like, you know, I'm a married man. I've been with my wife for so many years, blah, 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 and stuff. So, of course, naturally, with him being guardian ad litem, they believed it. But the person who had our children had actually let it slip when they were talking to us one day. And that's how we was able to know what was truly going on and why he wanted the TPR and why CPS wanted to keep the reunification.
Wow.
And so that's why they granted the TPR part of it. And we were going to have to go to trial for that and everything. And lo and behold, like I said, the man passed away from a heart attack. So we were given a new chance by the grace of God and the new guardian ad litem had seen what was going on, and then his wife, who got a hold of his phone after he had passed away, was able to prove what we were saying had been true this whole time. And I think that's why we skipped weekends. Most people, when they're getting children back, they get them for the weekends for so long and stuff, and then, you know, it's like, I think like maybe 1-2 weeks a month or something like that, and then it's kind of like a staggered entry for their children to come back, so it's not too overwhelming for either person or whatever. We skipped straight over all of that. First, our youngest had came home. He came straight home, and then a month later, our other two had came home and whatnot. But you know, I mean, it's one of those things that it's hard once they get their hands on you, because they want you to do so much.
Right. And
And
that's why
you
I
know,
ask people, I say it over and over and over. Not only do you need to know your individual rights, if you have children, please know your parental rights and know what to do when they show up at your door, because they will show up with unsigned warrants. And if you don't, and a lot of people think they have to let them to come in and stuff, you need research all this before. Hopefully, it never happens to any of you guys. But you
well,
never know. All it takes is a phone call.
I will say this part. You do not have to let them in your home. If they come out and they come knocking, you actually, you know, can just have your children walk through the door, let them see the children, whatever, have the children walk away. You do not have to allow them into your home or anything like that. But if any of you ever, and please, for the love of God, from someone who has experienced this, if they ever come to your door, please pick up a camera and start recording from the beginning to the end. If you open up the door and you see that CPS there, tell them, give me one moment, shut the door, go grab your phone and start a live. Start recording. Walk back over.
Amen.
Uh,
That's
you
yes.
know,
That
do not any conversation, any interaction you have with these people, because yes, you might think that these people are in the interest of the children, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now, I can't tell you how many times I have seen corruption happen. Not only that happened in my case or the Megan Walsh case, but I know plenty of other people who have been, you know, done wrong by CPS. I know a lady who just lost her son based on the fact that she refused to give her son his last chickenpox vaccine. From what I understand, it's a parent's right to be able to choose whether they want to vaccinate their child or not. I
it's
mean,
supposed to be, but
you know, I'm one. Yes, I vaccinate my children, but it's not my place to judge someone who chooses not to vaccinate their children. And I mean, um, it's one of those things of it's very corrupt,
yeah,
as you said.
and then the public defenders generally in a county, there'll be like a huge county. I remember Duval County. I don't know how many they have now, but when I lived there, like 20 years ago, they had two public defenders for all the CPS cases. Two. Jacksonville is the biggest city in the whole country by not by population but land mass, and they have a pretty damn big population. It's a pretty big city, Jacksonville is, and they had two public defenders to defend all these people. These people never even usually met them. I went to court with a friend of mine. They had never even talked to them. They might get to talk to them for 5 minutes outside the thing. Other than that, they never even got to contact them. They didn't have a prayer, not a hope with a system like this. And if you don't know how to do it on your own, even with the help of a public defender or attorney, if you don't know how to document it and to help push them in the right way, it's almost impossible. And that year seems like a long time. That year's nothing to get all that shit done. Nothing.
It's
And
really
you got to
not,
think,
because they do psychological evaluations. Then they want you to, you know, do stuff based on the psychological evaluation. They want you to do a drug assessment or drug classes. You know, they want you to do parenting classes. Then you have to do your work, and you know, you still have to do your drug test. They have other people, you know, that they want you to do other different things. And like me, I completed all my stuff that they had given me on the case plan within the first 3 months of everything. And this was before we ever had our adjudication hearing. And so I had it all
Can I
done.
say something real quick? Let me say
Yeah.
something real quick, Mommy Minnie. No, unbiased. I said supposed to be unbiased. Okay. Guardian ad litem. I said they're supposed to be unbiased. They're supposed to be in the best interest of the child. Supposed. Just like a lot of things are supposed to happen legally, but they don't. That's the kind of things we're complaining about, you know. So that's yeah. So yeah, almost all of this stuff is corrupt. There might be a good worker here and there. I'm sure there probably is, but they're even the ones that try to be good they're overstaffed. The people above them don't give a damn. They don't give them no support, and it's just a mess. They always get it wrong. And on top of that, it even goes deeper. A lot of this shit's done on purpose because certain people want kids for certain things. So you've got a lot of things at play here, man. So you know, you can take it all the way down the rabbit hole if you want to, and that's what needs to be done. But as a parent, just to protect yourself, you need to know these things in case somebody decides one day they don't like you or you piss them off and they make a phone call. That's all it takes. One phone call, one anonymous phone call, and your world will go upside down.
So
And you will have less rights than if you were accused of a crime. And there will be no jury of your peers.
back to what I'm saying. I know that we had our adjudication 6 months in instead of 3 months in, like typical, and we had more stuff added to us, which gave us 6 months instead of the typical 9 months to finish the rest of everything that we needed to do. And it was very hard on us because the thing is, like, I had stuff I had to do. Hunter had stuff, had things to do. It was very overwhelming. Plus, trying to work and trying to see our kids weekly. I had an hour visit, and then he'd have an hour visit and stuff like that. And it was one of those things. It was very hard for both of us, but we pulled through. We
Okay,
were
hold on
able
one
to find
second.
a job.
Hold on one second. Let Mommy a minute. Can somebody drop fuck DSS's link in there, please, for Charles? I understand, Charles. They thought you were talking shit. I understand. It's because unfortunately people come in there and do us that way. But he just wants fuck DSS link, please. There we go. Thank you, Snapface. And that's why somebody timed you out. They were trying to protect me, and I appreciate that. And I'm sorry you get timed out, Charles, but I think you understand why it happened. Here's the channel link right here. And this is his wife that's on here now. If we can drop Mommy and Minnie's link too, that would be awesome. There's several Mommy and Minnie, so Snapface, do you know which one's hers? If not, I might need to. Mommy and Minnie,
Look
oh, you
for the
can't
one.
drop it.
I was gonna say, just look for the one. I should be the second one when you type in "mommy and Minnie." I should be the second one. It'll have like a red circle around the picture.
Okay, so if one of my mods can grab that and drop her channel link too, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, you can go ahead, Mommy Minnie. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm just trying to pay
No,
attention. For once in my life, I'm trying to pay attention to chat.
but this is one of those things of where people think it's easy to get your children back, but it's really not when you go through so much stuff that they want to put you through. And at our 6 month hearing, they added more stuff onto us, and like I said, they do the TPR thing at a year typically. So imagine when you're at 6 months and you finally have your thing done, which is your adjudication hearing, and they tell you that basically, oh, you've got so much more stuff to do when you thought you were done to begin with, and you're not. And it just makes it, feel like you're defeated. Bust your ass anyway, as a
Oh yeah,
parent.
they could add stuff on there anytime they want to. And when you talk about these parents and classes and stuff, it ain't like these happen once a week. So, or maybe once every 2 weeks. So it ain't like you can just do them all at once or do them online. Maybe nowadays it's different, but back when I knew somebody personally that was going through it, the classes were held at a church like once a week or once every 2 weeks, I think it was,
Ours,
and you had to go
ours
to.
was once a week, and literally, ours was just we've had our
So
kids back home a little over here, so
right,
we were going once
so you
a
could
week
have
to
done
do
that
our
next
parenting classes, and then
time.
you had to.
Yeah, it was broke up there for a minute. What did you say last? What was the last word you said? Oh shit. I don't know. It sounds like she's breaking up a little bit. Yeah, your connection's getting bad. Yep, her connection's bad. Okay, guys, what I think I'm gonna do, well, if she can get back up here, that's fine. Just move around or something, Mommy and Minnie. Because it looks, I know you're connected, but your connection's weak. Let me see. You got a 0 out of 10 connection. So what we're going to do, if she can get back, we'll let her continue talking. If not, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and end this. And as soon as he goes live, I'm going to restart it. I would like to keep it going now, but I don't know how long court's going to last. It might last an hour. It might last 2. And see, now she's dropped completely. We'll give her a second and see if she wants to come back. And if she does, that's fine. Because these things she has to say are important. And I swear I want to warn people before, because it could happen to anybody. There's a time I know that we would have thought that it couldn't. When we went back years ago when we thought things. I know years ago I was taught, I just assumed that the government and stuff was good when I was young, but I ain't been young for quite some time, so I know how these people are. Okay, I know how corrupt they are, and I know with the case of Megan Walsh, not only is Megan important and her children important, I was hoping that her name could get some people's attention, and it has, but because she too doesn't just want her children back. She wants everybody that deserves their children back to have them back. And we want the state to intervene. But we want a new program. If there's something really going on, we want to save children that are in trouble. But there's got to be a better way. And if you can work with the whole family, you can. If there's no abuse going on, if it's just money problems and stuff like that, you could work with the whole family. It costs more money to send people to all these psychiatrists and all these parenting classes and stuff. You could help the family financially, and trust me, they want the parents to have it all. They want you, and they want you to be able to afford it all on your own. But you can't apply for like housing assistance when you don't have legal custody of your kids. It's a trap. So guys, I'm gonna let y'all go for now. Fuck DSS when he goes live. I'm going to restream it to this channel and to Lady Justice's channel. And Mommy and Minnie is going to restream it, at least audio-wise. Hey, Joe Black. She's going to try to do it the other way, but all she has on her is a phone. She's also welcome to come over here and sit with me as we restream it. So we're going to wait till after court because the goal was for him to get inside the courtroom with her. Something I've never been able to accomplish with or without a camera. And then when we get out, he gets outside, I'm sure they'll go live. And then we'll come back. All right, guys. I'm sorry that I brought you here and said they were at court. They are at court. They just are not. Hey, Bill Hunter. They're just not live yet. And it's important that he gets in there and hears what they say because he knows a little bit about law himself, right? So we need to know what's said. All right. My name is American Amy. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Look for notifications. And I'm out of here. Thanks, guys.